to move on from something or someone?
You will know.
You
will know. Definitely.
But how do you know?
Listen, as you say, the red flags and have been there, people have said, or you feel it, but you don't want to let go.
Yeah.
You will know.
Yeah.
You will know.
Yeah. I think it's... Alright, because I've been in jobs where almost as I've gotten into it, I'm like, I've got to get the heck out of here.
Exactly.
But just because I wanted to doesn't mean I was meant to get out at that point with this job. I remember Auntie Sadie cussed me because every time I went to testify in church, I was complaining about this job.
You complain about every job?
Well, yeah, most. Not all, but most. And she said, you need to stop that, Dion. It's not good. She almost told me off, and at the time I was fuming. I was fuming. But the longer I stayed in the job, I saw why I was there. She said, at the end of the day, God's allowed you to have this job. God's given you this job. Take the lessons that you're finding in this job, or what He's trying to teach you. Just suck it up and just be grateful. Stay on the grateful mindset, because when you stay there, when it's time to move you on, you'll, like you said, you'll know, and the next opportunity will come up. So maybe that's true. That's one thing. That's an indicator when another opportunity comes up. That's another way you can you'll know when it's time to move on.
Definitely.
Though I have to say, if you're talking about relationships, just because another man pops up doesn't mean he's the next opportunity.
That's very true. Very true. The devil can pop somebody up as well.
Yeah.
Oh, she's vulnerable.
Well, this is okay. So this is the thing then. What I would say is, energy doesn't lie, and I feel like a lot of the times our bodies and our guts, our intuition or instinct is telling us something.
Yeah, definitely.
It can be emotion, it can be experience or whatever. But the only way to know for sure, for me, in my experience, is to, and I know it sounds very cliche, but it's to go back to God, what are you saying? Because there's many times in ministry I've wanted to go. I was planning on leaving years ago. But God's like, I cannot afford to make a decision based on what I'm thinking and feeling, even though the situation would give me ample grounds to stand on for me to walk out. True. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's always checking the spirit, asking for confirmation. An opportunity came up actually not too long ago, I think it's a couple of years ago now, and I said, Lord, do you want me to do this or not? Because if I had my way, Lord, I wouldn't do it. So you need to tell me. And then lo and behold, before the night was over, someone came to me and told me something, and I was like, yeah, I'm not meant to do it. Thank you. And that helped inform my decision. So for me, the gut or your spirit will confirm. Yeah. And if you still are unsure, ask God, like, can you send like someone to confirm, someone credible or whatever, or a sign. And I don't believe that if you want the will of God for your life, if you want the best, if you want to be in the right space and in alignment with stuff, that God will just be like, I don't think he'll ignore you.
I totally agree with you.
But for people who aren't of faith, I don't know.
Well,
there is still that gut thing, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. There is a gut thing, and there'll be signs. There will be signs to say, well, you need to end this now, or you need to move on. Yeah. And I think look out for those signs.
Yeah, and don't ignore the signs.
Because some people might not believe in God, but God looks out for them anyway. Yeah. And He will show them that, well, no, you need to, move or.
Yeah.
I think people will know, but some people do refuse to accept the signs that they've seen or the red flags or... Well,
sometimes change is scary. And sometimes things that are unfamiliar are scary, so it's easy to stay in something that's comfortable. But then there's other people who are desperate to leave but need to stay for a little bit longer for whatever the situation is, whether it's career or relationships or whatever. But yeah, I think if something isn't serving where you're trying to go, if something isn't serving the will of God, if something isn't serving your mental well-being, your physical well-being.
Exactly.
Then I think those together or in a combination of 1, 2 or 3 of those things, you'll know whether it's time to move on. You know, don't wait till something's gotten so bad.
Yeah, true. And I think when you make that decision as well to move on, you have to be confident in that decision as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're not confident in that decision, you'll always be thinking, oh, should I have done this, should I have done that? And you're probably worrying more and, you know, and not moving on with your life.
Yeah.
I think once you make that decision and you're confident to say, well, okay, I need to move on now, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, move on with your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the past, that was then.
Yeah. And again, I saw something on Instagram, it says, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience.
Yeah.
So as much as sometimes it can feel like a loss, I don't know how many years you've invested into this thing, this job or this person.
But you learn from it.
Take what you've learned, exactly. Because for me, I'd rather keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
For me, I would rather, and I'm saying this knowing that I'm not currently in this situation, so I know it's easier said than done because the fear of it is different. But I would rather lose 15 years and have the rest of whatever free than have those 15 years and then 16 years and 17 years and 18 years and 19 years and 20 years and whatever still on that hamster wheel of whatever it is that's no longer serving where you want to go.
Definitely. Yeah, and you can move on in a good way.
Yeah,
you know, you speak to the person and say, well, you know, it's not working, you know, we need to end and you know, we can leave on good terms.
Yeah, moving on isn't always a negative thing or has to be a negative separation. It actually can be something quite
you can become
positive.
Friends. You'll still be friends, but not necessarily a relationship.
Yeah, well, ain't no one crying if they've got a new job, are they?
Exactly.
That's always a happy moment, you know. Sometimes these things are needed. I wonder if they can hear the kids on this camera.
Probably.
Was it good? I run the last question, innit?
That's okay.
So, but yeah, I think there's something fundamentally in us as humans that know it, and there's signs, and people will come to you, and things will happen, and I think it's about not ignoring those signs. So, yeah.